There is an African proverb that says that if a child cries for a laser blade, what do? Give the child the laser blade so that he or she gets to learn that that's not something to play with. And I think this is a perfect example of white people. See, sometimes back white people used to threaten black people with, we are going to bring back segregation. We are going to separate from you. We are going to bring back separation. We need our own white community. You need to stay like your own. But later on, as the reality is, they get to learn that, we cannot do without black people. Why am I saying this? Because they have learned that black people hold one of the most important things in the society. And that's what? Yes, that is the people that will support their businesses, the people that they will run to, the people that they will ask to go to protest for them. But yet, they still need separation. They still want segregation. It is really crazy that we are having a people that are entitled black people, to the extent that if it means that black people are not going to be supporting their businesses, or black people are not going to be supporting the cause of everything that they do, they'll rather stop that segregation that they wanted. And what did black people say? Black people say that, you know what, bring it on. You say that you want to bring back segregation. You want to separate from us, right? Bring it on. Have your own white companies, and let's see who is going to be buying from your shops, who is going to be supporting your businesses if it's not black people. For the longest time, this is that one part that white people have been blind to, and that is black support. Majority of people have gotten black support, but they won't admit. Wait until they get to learn that the segregation that they wanted will only work against them. That's when they learned to shut their mouths. Brothers and sisters, I want us to watch this video, and then I'm back. I'll be sharing my thoughts in regards to this. If you're me for the first time, I'm your host and presenter Tech Stories. Happy new month. Welcome back to the channel. See you.
I just found out that they bringing back segregation. And let me tell you something. Tell your friends and your family. I don't even know if y'all got cousins or not. Tell them to hurry up and put them signs up. For people like you that voted for this man, y'all want to sit there and cry, talking about we need to stand together. When have y'all ever stood with us?
Rolling back segregation. What are we gonna do?
Not one goddamn thing. Not one goddamn thing. I speak for myself, just my personal opinion, but I done speaking about this and I spoke to leaders, and everybody I speak to say it's probably gonna be the best thing that ever can happen to black people. A mandate for us to unite with our consumption power. We got the greatest consumption power in the world, and you gonna mandate us to unite? Yeah. Ever since we integrated, our economic state has been worse. Our families have been torn apart. And when we made a decision to chose that, we got what we got now. And everybody that I see, that's why you don't hear no outcry from black people about this new executive order about segregation. I don't think we give a damn about it.
Go ahead and put them signs up. We don't care nothing about that segregation. Put them signs up so we can take away our dollar. And you can learn just like Target learned. We do not care. We are resting.
White people, how do you feel about the segregation ban? I already know how people of color feel in other minorities, but what about y'all? How do you feel about this? Like, are you happy? I know that's kind of like a setup, huh? Because if you're all like, yeah, then I'm like, oh, we found him. But no, I'm like curious, like, because I mean, it doesn't really affect y'all.
Rolling back segregation. What are we gonna do?
I tell you, all my black people are understanding the assignment about this segregation stuff. Y'all are understanding the assignment. It's like we're all united. Like, we understand the assignment. Like, we get it, right? So I seen a video today by a non-black person, right? And she was saying, they're trying to bring back segregation. What are we going to do, right? Like, we have to help, yada, 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 right? And so every black person I see in the comments, like, we ain't doing nothing. We finna go line dancing. Everybody like, I need to give me some boots. I need to figure out how to do the Where them fans at dance, they was like, we taking naps, baby. I done booked my vacation. Everybody just in the comments, and the lady's like, oh my gosh. She was like, yeah, I get it, but ma'am, listen, we do not care. We need to bring that sound back because we're not doing nothing at all. Like, we ain't playing into the trap. We know what y'all want. We not doing it. We ain't got no capes. We capeless. We not Captain Saving nobody. Do it. Do what you want to do. Y'all been doing what y'all want to do for years. Why are we not crying? Keep passing the vibe check. Cause y'all eating down in them comments. Love y'all. Bye.
What's even worse is the amount of people that I'm seeing commenting that are like, yeah, good. I hope he brings it back. And most of those people do not look like me. Yeah, so I don't know why you would want that. Sounds pretty damn hateful to me. He did not bring back segregation. What he did is try to protect women and children in bathrooms. I don't see where that's a problem. I would prefer to not have to worry about being in a restroom with a man walking in. Just a thought. I do have a daughter. I like to know that she's safe when she's in there. So, yeah. Trump did not bring back segregation. He did not bring back racial segregation for those in the back. They're like, yeah, good. I hope he brings it back. And most of those people do not look like me. Yeah, so I don't know why you would want that.
Then people want us to be mad so bad. I don't know. Segregation being bad don't sound too bad to me. You mean to tell me I don't have to guess if my mac and cheese got raisins in it or not? You mean to tell me when I walk into a bathroom it's going to be clean with R&B playing? You mean to tell me I get to pick the best restaurants to go to? I don't have to guess. Bro, we're about to be living like the kings and queens that we are. And I feel like this is going to backfire real bad. Because realistically, we make everything. Nobody is going to want to go to the other side. Even the people that aren't on that side, but are, the ones with common sense, they're going to be so mad. They're going to be on one side with the boring cookout and then looking at the other side with our cookout. And they're going to be looking like, why did y'all do this? Me personally, I feel like segregation being back is just grounds for we're about to take over everything. You know what? I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait. I really can't because that sounds lit.
They say they bringing back segregation. I ain't too mad at it because I got a couple lines I've been waiting to get off.
So what's your take?
Bring back segregation.
100% disagree.
Dead ass. Bring it back. I want to know where I'm not welcome, okay? Put them signs back up. Colors only, whites only. Let's do it, all right? Rip the Band-Aid off. Especially for a restaurant. Are you kidding me? Whites only? What do I want to do in there? What they got? Mashed potatoes, mayonnaise, hot dogs. Colors only. We got seasoning, turmeric, paprika.
Okay, I like this.
Okay.
You're saying that the black excellence.
Absolutely.
The segregation is to get the
colored excellence.
Okay.
Okay. What's the playlist in the whites only spot? They playing Carrie Underwood and Kid Rock. We playing Babyface and Diggable Planets. Ain't no overhead lighting. What are you talking about?
Wait, where am I going?
Colors.
Hell yeah.
Look at his hair.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel once again. Now guys, white people, they are now realizing that they are losing control over black people. Right now they know that they cannot control black people anymore, and because they cannot control black people, they've been coming out and start threatening black people by saying that they are going to bring back segregation. But you know what, black people, they have been coming out and telling them that you guys, you need to bring that segregation, because black people, we are ready. In fact, that segregation will help us black people, because we will not be with you anymore, because white people is like, they will come out and realize that they need black people more than black people, they need them. So kindly guys, I want you to watch the rest of the video. Kindly remember to give a video a thumbs up. I'll be back with more comment at the end.
They're bringing back segregation because they know a world without black and brown people is coming, and it terrifies them. Trump just rolled back protections that ban segregated facilities for federal contractors, and the internet's acting shook. But me, I'm not surprised, clearly. This is what desperate power looks like. This isn't about restoring order or merit-based hires. This is a tantrum from an almost 80-year-old man. White supremacy is in its flop era, and it's grasping at any old trick it can find. Segregation? Really? I feel like that's how we know they're scared. Because let's be real, Black folks, we are unbothered. You can't shake people that have been surviving state-sanctioned violence since the dawn of time. We've had underfunded schools, medical negligence, and cultural erasure since day one. We don't panic when the system turns on us. We expect it. We don't fold, we multiply. We turn every block into a blueprint, every struggle into a strategy, and every threat into a legacy. As I said in my pinned video, a world without Black and brown people is coming, not because we're disappearing, because we're divesting. From their politics, from their corporations, their watered-down narratives, their respectability games, we want no parts. We've seen what happens when we show up and we make America run, but this time we're choosing to build our own instead. And that's what scares them, not the loss of power, but the loss of relevance. Because without our culture, our labor, our innovation, our souls, what is America really? Let them scramble. Let them cling to segregation like it's going to save them. We've already moved on. And when that world without us fully arrives, they're going to finally understand what unbothered really looks like.
The reality is that Black people live very, very full lives, and white people aren't even a thought. Like, Black people tend to live their lives in a way where we do not think about what white people are doing. And that is very true. It is very factual. A lot of Black people only interact with white people because they go to work with them, right? So if they do not work with white people and you're Black, how many times are you socializing with white people outside of work? For a lot of Black people, you don't really socialize a lot of times at work, after work, with white people. And so when you have that reality, then it begs for you to be able to go down a line of questioning, right? Which is, what is the issue with segregation? And I've seen some white people on here that was like, white people should be saying that segregation is bad. And the reality is that no, that's not really the problem, right? Because the problem is that we were separate and not equal. That's the problem. It was the maltreatment. Because the reality is that we are no longer segregated, but yet we are still mistreated. We still are not offered the same amount of opportunities. We are still not paid the same rate. We are still not afforded the equality of it. So what white people did was, okay, fine. We will desegregate. It's fine. But once Black people entered these spaces, we were still being mistreated. And so the question could actually be, if we had equality, right? If we had equal access to buying land, equal access to be able to garner wealth, equal pay, and we were never desegregated, would desegregation actually be necessary? And there is when you take a look at what was happening with the Tulsa riot, is the fact that Black people were equal and separate. Right? They had land, they had businesses, they were accruing wealth. It was the wealthiest Black community. And white people who were not a part of the community, very much separate, and yet we are equal, right? They have banks, they have people that build, they have people that, grocery stores, they have houses, they have neighborhoods, they have milkmen, they have mailmen. White people have their own neighborhoods, white people have their own businesses, white people have their own groceries, white people have their own things, separate but very much equal. And white people looked over and said, what are they doing over there? And bombed it, right? Because otherwise, if Black people continue on prospering on their own, why would any Black person say, I need to be over there? There's an argument for that. And so then when you look further, taking a look at desegregation, right? Whose lives improved due to closer proximity of white and Black people? White people. Their lives improved. Their logic improved. All of a sudden, they begin to be enlightened on the reality of the fact that they themselves were lied to. Otherwise, had they not come into proximity with Black people, there is no reason for them to believe that their ancestors ever did anything wrong. Or there's also no reason to believe that they are more like black people than what they were told. Because many, many years ago, the Republican Party, right, they said that the way that you are able to steal from poor white people is to convince them that they're better than black people. And if you can convince them of that, you can steal money from out of their pockets and they would never notice. So here we are, where we are no longer desegregated. And you see all over this app where you have white people that are learning a lot about historical truths that black people already knew. We already knew these things. But you have white people on a daily that are like, I didn't know that. That's not what I was taught. I wasn't taught that, right? You have whole religious sects of people that were literally taught that the Civil War was not about slavery. You literally have all of these white people that had no clue that Juneteenth existed, or why it existed, or how many years it actually took post-emancipation for the last slave to actually be freed. Proximity has caused for a lot of the misinformation fed to white people to perpetuate racism, to be dismantled. And so you literally have people that are white nationalists. I need you to follow. You literally have people that are white nationalists that are now running the Republican Party, right? In order for them to bring white people back into subjugation, we have to separate them from minorities, because they are learning truths that causes it to be extremely difficult for us to tell them that black people are subservient, because proximity means that you are able to identify where we overlap. Now they're understanding the humanity of minorities, and now they're not going to go along with the Aryan beliefs that white people are the elite race and they are better than another ethnic group and they deserve to have things by virtue of them being white. Do you see how segregation has nothing to do with black people and has everything to do with getting white people back in line? Are you understanding what's going on here? Because it's never for the sake of black people, which is why black people is like, we cool. Segregate, separate, illuminate, elucidate, do whatever you got to do. And that is a very true reality, because we have only known desegregation. But we have also only known that when we're in your proximity, we are still killed. We are still murdered. We are still mistreated. We are still shunned. We do not have the same access, even though we are in closer proximity. So if our lives have not changed by becoming in closer proximity, why would we continue to be close? Okay, separate us. But you have white people that are like, no, segregation is wrong. Why? Because your life has changed because of proximity. Are you understanding what I'm saying to you? Do you get this now? Are you tracking? The segregation thing has nothing to do with black people and everything to do with trying to put white people back in their place. Okay? Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
Let's talk about Jim Crow for a moment, because I hear a lot of people saying like, oh, y'all want segregation, y'all want to bring segregation back, so basically y'all asking for Jim Crow to come back. No, let's clear something up really quick. During Jim Crow era, they taught the so-called white people were better than so-called black people. White supremacy was implemented in Jim Crow time. This 2025, the truth is out. Everybody know that so-called whites are not better than so-called blacks. That's why the main people that's not wanting this segregation to happen is so-called whites. They want to be a part of what we're doing. They want to know what's going on with us. They want to be included. You know why? Because the truth is out, and they know that so-called blacks are superior to them and always have been. That Jim Crow era BS,
That was indoctrination that was being pushed on so-called whites to teach them that they are better than a so-called black person, that they are smarter than a so-called black person, that they are more worthy than a so-called black person, that they are superior to a so-called black person. So we not asking for Jim Crow back, because Jim Crow, you got us messed up. We already know who we are. Like the Most High said, that we're above all nations that are upon the face of the earth. So we not declaring Jim Crow. We're simply declaring segregations. That means so-called whites, y'all go y'all way, and us so-called blacks will go our way. That's what we're declaring. They fear being separated from so-called black people, because we the salt of the earth. We invent everything. We get everything jumping. Without us, they would not know what to do, y'all. So we have to remember, during Jim Crow times, so-called blacks was treated horribly, so bad. And whites were treated so good. I'll be damned we go back to Jim Crow. Because we know the truth now. We know that so-called white people are not superior. It's just a front. It's just a front. It's just a put on. But we know America is falling. And the truth is coming out. And these so-called whites are being exposed for the people that they are and have been for hundreds and hundreds of years. And the hidden hate that they have had towards our people, and try to still use it to today. But we know their false white supremacy is crumbling right before their eyes. Like I said, a kingdom against itself shall fall. And that's what we see in Babylon right now. America is crumbling. It's falling because they're separated. They can't even agree. The kingdom is falling from within. But Jim Crow, his biggest fear, check this out. Jim Crow's biggest fear was so-called black people coming together in unity. Wow. Coming together in unity. And that's even active and alive today in America. They still push that propaganda to separate so-called blacks, to keep us feuding and fighting with one another. Just check out the workplace. You always got a coon somewhere running to the white man's office, snitching on his brother or sister. This was implemented hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years ago that still has an effect on our people. But when we say segregation, we're not talking about Jim Crow, because today we're superior. Today, 2025, we are above all nations of people that are upon the face of the earth. So today, it'll be segregation. So-called blacks will be superior. So-called whites will be inferior. It won't be no Jim Crow. Now you can stamp that, sign that, and take that to the bank. We standing on that.
I recently saw a viral video from a white content creator who claimed that white-only signs were being put up in Missouri. He said he didn't care about the reasoning behind it, that now's the time for people to speak up. Well, allow me to speak up too. Let's make one thing clear. Segregation was never the problem. White supremacy was. After slavery ended, black Americans built thriving self-sufficient communities. Oscarville, Seneca Village, Black Wall Street. And what happened? We circulated our own money, supported our own businesses, and we flourished until they burnt it down, drowned it, or seized it through their so-called laws. We were never afraid of being separate. We were afraid of being attacked for succeeding while being separate. Integration didn't save us, it diluted us, and it mostly benefited white folks. Because let's be honest, most black folks today don't sense a whiteness in their lives. I can go weeks, even months, without socializing with a single white person, and I'm just fine. The only reason we still interact is because we have to, for work, for survival, for systems that were never built for us. So when I hear talk of white-only towns, my first thought is, good luck. Not because we are angry, but because you'll still need us to survive. You don't want white-only spaces. You want white-only control with black, brown, and immigrant labor. You want white-only luxury with multicultural sweat. If you really want separation, real honest segregation, you stop interfering every time black people build something beautiful. The black dollar is $1 billion power. We've built before and we will again. But this time we demand peace. Our ancestors only fought to be included in spaces because they were locked out of resources. We don't want your acceptance. We want our autonomy. So if you want white-only towns, by all means, go build them. But this time, leave us alone while we build ours too. No burning, no bombing, no sabotage. Because separation can work, but only if your supremacy doesn't follow us into it.
Why are white people so intimidated and threatened by black men, despite their claims that black men are inferior to them and incapable of the most basic tasks?
Well, there's an easy answer to that question. They know black men are are superior to them. Put us on any playing field, be it physics or football, and we will win. Give us the same opportunities, and we will win. Because we come from a history of not trying to destroy and dominate the world, and you come from a history of trying to destroy and dominate the world, and that has become the culture of the white community. You know? So you go into your medicine, and your first open heart surgery as a black man, your first separating of Siamese twins is a black man. The creator that eventually produces your first artificial heart is a black man. You can just go on and on. A black janitor at Johns Hancock, all right, teaches your best surgeon, the janitor, who never went to med school. Give me a break. You got a TV set because of a black man. You got a cell phone because of a black man. You got a touchstone because of a black woman. You got the video game because of a black man. You've got the internet because of a brother from Ghana, Nigeria or Ghana, I think the brother's from. You got when we send messages on the computer. You know, like I'm gonna text you, what do you call it? Email. You have the email because of a black Indian man. And it's just going, all of the technology that you using was created for your corporations by African peoples. Yeah. All of it.
So white people will never leave black people alone, and I'm gonna tell you why. White society's obsession with black people isn't new, it's centuries old. If you think about slavery, colonialism, and exploitation, from the start, white wealth in America was built off the backs of black bodies. Sugar, cotton, tobacco, rice. This wasn't just economics, it was a system where white people's very identity was shaped around controlling and owning and watching black bodies. But here's the wild contradiction in all of this, right? While trying to dehumanize us, white culture has always been obsessed with us, right? They copied our music, our style, our language, our food, even our rhythm, all while denying us basic rights. Think about jazz and rock and hip hop and fashion, all born out of black genius, only to be taken, watered down, and sold back to the world with a white face on it. So why can't they just stay away? Because in a system that is built both on exploitation and envy, distance is impossible. White supremacy depends on keeping black people in place, close enough to use, control, or imitate, but never free enough to threaten the hierarchy. It's a sick paradox, fear and fascination at the same damn time. On a psychological level, it's projection. White folks will project their guilt, their fear, and their insecurities onto blackness, and then turn around and crave the very life, culture, and resilience they tried to destroy. It's like they want the sauce, but not the struggle. Now, to be real, not every white person acts like this, but the system, the way whiteness has defined itself against blackness, makes it so this obsession keeps resurfacing. Whether it's over policing or culture appropriation or trying to legislate our lives, it always comes back to the old need to dominate mixed with a quiet desire to be what they can't.
Every other day, it's another story about a white person being uncomfortable with a black person in a space they consider a white space, whether it be a damn gym in a private office building or jogging in a predominantly white neighborhood. What do y'all not understand that segregation ended in 1964? Where the hell have you been, baby? Where have you been? Okay? And I have to ask you, what is it about black people that makes you so damn uncomfortable? Do y'all ever ask yourself that? Because realistically, according to statistics, they have a hell of a lot more to fear from us than we do from them. So why don't you marinate on that for a second?
Hello brothers and sisters, welcome back to the channel. I'm hoping that you are doing great. From wherever you're watching this video from, again, I'm your host and presenter Genetic Stories, and it is always a great time. It is always a good time that God has granted unto us so that we can see all these beautiful days. We can get to see all this beautiful time that God has given unto us. One thing that I would like to say is that white people are getting to learn that they can never do without black people. They heavily depend on blacks. And that means that if today they were to segregate, it means that black people will go with their services. They will integrate. Black people will integrate on their own. But one thing that I would also like to put across is that black people never feared segregation. They were forced to integrate. It is because they learned that when they separated, there were those things that white people cannot do for themselves. We have seen this, and that's why even today, white people are calling black folks to work on their farms. How and when can they afford to do this? While in the same sense, they cannot support themselves. They cannot tell their kids to work on their own farms. They cannot do that. They are dependent on black people. So while I was watching the video, I always like going through what people really have to say. In as much as what I say is important, I also believe that what you say, it is also important. So people are sharing about this issue of, white people trying to threaten black folks with segregation. And I was like, okay, let me listen to what black folks got to say about this. Somebody say that being in our own black spaces without outside interference, that will be great. And I think this shows you that when you get to listen to black people's comments, that tells you that they are not afraid of segregation. They are not afraid. Right? They're like, you know what? Bring it on. Bring it on. We're ready. Right? Somebody said that actually integration was the worst thing to ever happen to blacks, because all it did was to benefit other group of people, but it never benefited them. Look at all these things that black folks are fighting for. They fighted for things that not only benefited them, but it benefited other people. Right? So somebody said that Malcolm X distinguished between segregation and separation. Let's talk about it. He condemned segregation as a system forced upon an oppressed group by a superior one, where black people lacked control over their own lives. Instead, he advocated for a voluntary separation, where black Americans could build independent institutions and control their own communities. And that's what they are afraid of. They're afraid of black people separating from them, right? Somebody also said that the only problem is that we keep on threatening to unify only in response to trauma. We have to get past being threatened to unify with one another and put all our resources into building our families and communities, right? Somebody said that the honest thing the black people need to do is to keep standing alone, because these people voted for Donald Trump. His wife's supporters, and now is a problem, and they want to mix blacks with the problem. They are crazy. They are really crazy. People are saying that there's a big difference between segregation and separation. True. The former was forced upon us, and the latter is self-imposed, and that's true. But at the end of the day, what I'm trying to say is that, you see, both of them, they still fear both of them. They fear segregation. They fear black people to separate. They fear. Right. Somebody say that I'm 65 years old, woman, and I don't give a damn because I'm tired with the strength that I have left. I'm moving abroad less than a week to go. I'm happy for you. I'm happy for you for the choice that you've made. If you feel like you're not peaceful, I think that's the right call. That's the right thing to do. You chose the right thing to do. You chose the right thing because that's so important to your mental health and everything. So this is the last comment that I'm going to be reading. They just won't leave us alone. They just won't leave us well enough alone. Take a look back. How did that work out for the farmers? How did that work out for the high cost of living, high gas prices, high food prices, the spike in rent, unnecessary wars, loss of our allies? So, I believe everyone needs to be careful for what they wish for in this day and time, right? So, really tell me what you think about this video. I want to know your opinion in regards to this. As you know, I'm your host and presenter Talk Stories, but until then, I'm hoping to see you on my next video. You all stay blessed, stay healthy, and stay hydrated. Until then, peace, love, and harmony.